The complete first year was exploration. I was not quite sure where to go, but you just have to follow the tide and it will take you a long way.
You are a Kaggle master. You were a researcher at New York University. You got selected into Mitacs, and then you got an offer from StepScan.
I couldn't sleep for the
Yeah,
next 2 days.
I have
So
seen
many
that.
DMs, so many DMs, so many calls. Like, I shouldn't have done that, but yeah, I was excited and I did that. The focus on skills is like just 30 to 40%, and the rest depends on how you organize yourself in that given company and how you actually connect with people. Literally, whatever you're gonna spend moving from India to Canada and back again, it's gonna be taken care by my tax. So yeah, you're really doing a great job. Um, uh,
Thank
like
you.
helping out juniors, and yeah, continue the good work.
Research is one of the core aspects of academics. It is due to research that we discover amazing new aspects of life as well as invent life changing technology. While the recent trend has shown that more and more students are going into jobs, still many students are diving into research and discovering great things. Today, I have with me Shreyas, a pre-final year triple IT, a pre-final year IT student at Triple IT Bhubaneswar, who has pursued research at New York University for around a year and is currently pursuing research at the University of New Brunswick. So let me add Shreyas to the stream.
Hi, Ankur.
Hi Shreyas, how are you?
I'm great. Thank you for having me and
Yeah,
providing me a platform to share my valuable experience. Thank you.
yeah. Thank you to you too for inviting my for accepting my invite.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'd like to first ask, how did you go into the research line as a computer science student?
So, in my first year of undergrad, I was not actually sure whether I should pursue research because I didn't know what to do actually in research. To start off with research, you need to select a particular field, right? If you know which field you're going to be working in, it really becomes easy to find opportunities in that field, be it research or be it corporate life. So I think first you have to find out a field which works for you, and then you could choose either to go into the corporate world or you could go into the research field. So my journey in my first year, I explored all avenues in CS, ranging from web development, app development, and even tried out cybersecurity. But I found my interest in ML, so I went forward with it.
Okay, okay. So after exploring in first year, you like finally decided. Uh, no, no, no. The first thing you did was you did the ML. You learned
No.
machine learning and data science,
Uh,
and then
See, so in my first year, the complete first year was exploration.
okay.
I tried out various avenues,
Mm-hmm.
did a lot of competitive programming as well, but
Okay.
it was not of my interest, I would say. I did like doing those, but in a long-term perspective, it really didn't interest me so much. So I think it was during the summer after the first year that I started taking courses in ML. And then I started doing projects right after I took those courses. And I luckily found many opportunities from there on. And again, it was a sequence of events which led me to research. I was not quite sure where to go, but you just have to follow the tide and it will take you a long way.
Okay, okay, that makes sense. And let me just discuss the each of your achievements sequentially. You are a Kaggle master. You were a researcher at New York University.
Yep.
You got selected into Mitacs, and then you got an offer from StepScan, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's start with the first thing. You became a Kaggle master. How did you start? Where did you learn? And what was your
Okay.
journey like?
Okay, so as I said, I started my journey in machine learning during the summer after first year.
Right.
I started off with the courses, did some projects, and then I opened a Kaggle account. Like nobody recommended it to me, but I just was surfing over the internet. What are the best avenues to build projects? And I came across this Kaggle. Actually, Kaggle is not the place where you find interesting projects. It's more
Hmm.
about competitions. It's more about hackathons and all such stuff. But I was lucky enough to find out this avenue, and then on actually there are five tiers in Kaggle. So the first one is called the novice. Like you just have to register on the platform, and then the second is called the contributor. Like he has some few contributions, whether in competitions or he has submitted some notebooks or something like that. And you have the expert, who is kind of higher in comparison to the contributor. And there are masters and grandmasters. So there are just 57 grandmasters in this world on Kaggle, and there are 332 masters in this world, and there are around 50 from India. Yeah. So my journey, I
And
think,
you're one of them.
yeah, and my journey, I think during the summer of second year, I was a 3x expert. So there are various avenues you could be expert in. Like there are competitions, there are notebooks, there are data sets you could publish, or you could have discussions on the platform and you'll be ranked even for that. So during my second year summer, I was a 3x Kaggle expert. And
Hmm.
I think during the end of my fifth semester, I became a Kaggle master.
Oh, okay, that's great. That's really great. And then after, like, like Kaggle is one of the things that you were doing while learning the machine learning and
Yeah.
all things. And how
So,
did you get to know about the research? Yeah, yeah. Please continue.
okay. So, many of the competitions which take place on Kaggle are basically research oriented. Most
Hmm.
of them are industry as well, but the main focus is research. Like they have a competition which lasts for like 3 months, and they are basically organized by institutions so that they can find researchers, the best researchers, data scientists all over the world, who could solve
Hmm.
their research problem. So, if you want to get into research and solve a problem, Kaggle is the best place to start off with. Afterwards, you're gonna get opportunities just running after you, because once you know how to solve research problems, it really becomes easy.
Oh, okay. So, what was your first opportunity, and how did you get it in research?
So okay, so my first opportunity was at NYU. It's really unlikely that a person who has no research experience prior to that, like it was really a dream come true. Um, so they have this program called the IRIS, the International Research Experience for Students, which is um, conducted or organized by a collaborative body between US and India, and they offer 25 Indian students an opportunity to pursue research in any of the um, universities back in US. So I choose NYU because it had the best opportunities in my field and my area of research. So when it comes to machine learning, most people think it's all about computer vision, it's all about NLP, and all that stuff, but it not actually is. There are many interdisciplinary fields like biomedical engineering, which requires a lot of ML. So the major projects I've been doing at NYU, it's all about biomedical engineering. And they really require computer scientists, they require data scientists, and um, it's all about artificial intelligence being embedded into systems in biomedical engineering. So
Okay.
if you have a minor or a major in computer science, you should be good to pursue research in biomedical engineering, and it's really a great field.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So, where did you find it? Like, uh,
Okay,
this,
so again, I was just browsing the internet to find some stuff while I was learning. I was going through some terms, some jargons in ML, and I was not able to find them. So I was just browsing and I found a research opportunity in the same field. So the jargon was called, I think it was called, I'm not quite sure what I was searching for, but that word was the main research title at NYU. So I found that opportunity through that. Like I had to submit a statement of purpose. I had to submit a letter of recommendation. Back in my 12th, so during my JEE preparations, I had a professor from IISc who used to teach me. So I had worked on many projects with him back then. So he provided me with a letter of recommendation for this, and yeah, I was able to get shortlisted, and then also finally cracked the interview and got an internship opportunity.
okay. So, can you tell us how was the interview process like?
Okay, so it was basically so there was just the test of your interests, whether you actually fit into the research team or not. Like you may be very competent in your field. Suppose you're really great at doing computer vision tasks, but if the project doesn't require your expertise, then it's not you're not going to be shortlisted. However proficient you may be in the field. So it really depends on the project, I would say. If your interest match, then you're gonna get shortlisted. So my interest was computational neuroscience back then. Now I'm not pursuing it. It was just my hobby doing that. Back then it was computational neuroscience, and my professor was kind of interested in the same too. So he shortlisted me.
Okay, and like after the application, there was only one face-to-face interview or
It was
something
just a single
else?
phase interview, single phase. So the applications roll out in January. So I applied in 2020 January, and I got my acceptance in the third week of March.
Oh, okay, okay, that's cool. So, as a researcher, what were the everyday activities? And like this was your first research, so
Correct.
did you find any challenges and how did
Um,
you tackle it?
so as to say, like research was a very new field to me. I literally didn't know anything. I had to start from the basics. So reading a research paper, I never knew how to even write a research paper. Um, so it really becomes complicated if there's no one to help you out, um, especially when you're starting off uh, with research in ML, because there are many um, terms or concepts you might not even understand or find in courses, because whatever you find in courses, there are standard techniques or methodologies, and research in ML is basically finding out new techniques, and you need to be really strong in math to understand that. So like your coordinate geometry, your differential calculus must be really strong to understand. So it was a bit difficult at the starting, but as we moved on, my professor helped me. There were colleagues who helped me. Like it was just growth from there. Everybody helped each other, and yeah.
So, suppose you didn't understand a particular approach or like how to move ahead, then there must be a mentor and professor.
Actually, we
How-
didn't have mentors because there was a fourth year undergrad who was working with us on the same project at NYU. Is currently pursuing his master's in CMU. So he was kind of our mentor. He worked with us, but he really guided us like in which direction the project should move, and um, what actually should be the goal of the project. If we had any doubts, he cleared them up real quick. He was quick in responding, and yeah, he was our mentor.
Okay, that's great. So, so let me just go back a bit and ask you about your preparation before starting research at NYU.
Yeah,
You told that you had taken some courses, right?
yeah.
So, what were
So
the courses?
okay, so the courses, many people who are into ML must be familiar with this. So there are courses on Coursera, the Deep Learning Specialization by Andrew Ng and Lawrence Moroney. So it's a 5 course specialization in TensorFlow, and it really covers most of the basics which you require to dive deep into the field of ML. And from there you could proceed to reading research papers, because after that I think pursuing courses would just be redundant, because that course kind of covers all the basics you need, and if you want to go to the next level, it's all about reading research papers, because in
Yeah.
ML, as I said, the courses don't cover everything. If you need to be up to date, you have to read research papers. Even if
Okay.
you're into the corporate field or research, it doesn't matter, because even the people in the industry have to read research papers in ML just to keep up
Yeah.
with the current trends.
So, for any junior or any peer starting up with ML, so that course, you would you recommend that course
Yeah,
or
sure. I would recommend
other?
that course. If you are just interested in ML, just go and pick that course up. If it's someone from our college, I think we have free access to Coursera, and you could just take that course up and finish it off. And if you think it's really the field you want to dive deep into, then you can move ahead into reading research papers. But I think you must figure out before the completion of that course whether this field is for you or not.
Okay. So that course will help in starting right from scratch.
Yes, it starts from scratch, so you shouldn't worry.
So I think I should put that course link in the description.
Yeah, sure.
Might help. Yeah. Okay. So how long did this research last for you at NYU? How long was?
So the summer research was for 3 months. Actually, due to COVID, it was remote. Otherwise, I would have an opportunity to travel to NYU in New York City, but unfortunately, we had COVID. So
Yeah.
the internship opportunity was for 3 months, and after that, I asked my professor out if I could continue working, because I didn't want to leave the project in the middle. Um,
Mhm.
so we also had a research paper on that. Um, like it was half completed by the end of 3 months, and I literally didn't want to let go of the opportunity half the way. So I asked him out whether I could continue for the next like 6 months till the research project is completed, and I was fortunate enough that he agreed to that. So yeah, I think it went on till January. Yeah, and we have the research paper published. We also have it uh, on the conference list. We haven't accepted, but uh, um, I think the decisions will roll out within a month, and if it rolls out, we'll be going to Barcelona.
Oh, that's a great news then. Yeah. So was this research internship paid or how was it
It
like?
was actually paid. If I had to
Mhm.
go there, it was completely funded, ranging from my flight tickets, my accommodations, everything. But since it was remote, it was up to the discretion of the professor. My professor did offer me, but I felt that since I was doing remote and it was less than part time. So I think it was not justified for me to receive bucks just for working like 2 3 hours a day. So
Oh, okay. You didn't actually accept the offer.
yeah.
Okay. So, okay. So after that, now let's talk about Mitacs.
Okay.
Please explain in detail what is this Mitacs opportunity and How did
Okay,
you make?
so again, it's an organization which fosters research between the Canadian and the Indian institutes. So Mitacs is basically gonna fund um, all your expenses ranging from the flight tickets, the accommodations, your living expenses, your visa charges, like literally whatever you're gonna spend moving from India to Canada and back again, it's gonna be taken care by my tax. So yeah.
Okay,
And
so
the opportunities, so the applications roll out in the month of August, by I think the mid of August. And then you have to submit your statement of purpose. You have to submit a letter of recommendation, just a single, and you have to choose your project. So there are a pool of 2,500 projects all over. These projects are offered by all universities across Canada, and you have to select seven of them. You could give them rankings, like which project you would prefer over the other, and you have to select seven projects among them.
okay, okay. And when do the applications roll out, and for which year students is it available?
So it's available for second, third, and fourth year students, but most of the second years don't actually make it because many of the professors don't prefer people with a bit of inexperience. So
Mm-hmm.
mostly it's third and fourth years getting over here. So
Okay. So,
and the
what is the
applications
basis of?
actually, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, please continue. Interrupt.
So as you said, as you asked, the applications roll out by the mid of August, and you will have to submit it
Mhm.
by the mid of September, and the results roll out. So there are basically two waves of results. So in the first wave, results come out in the month of December. So ours came out on December 10th, and the second wave of results come out in the fourth week of January. So, and
Okay.
again, it's completely random. Like if you're not selected in the first wave, it doesn't mean that your application is a bit weak. It's completely random. You could get either selected in the first wave or the second wave. Yeah, but I was lucky
Okay.
enough to get selected in the first wave.
Okay. Just a second. I think there's a bit of internet issue. Let me just a second. Just a second. I can't see your screen. Hello. Am I audible?
Yeah, you're audible.
Yeah, I can see it now.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Please continue. So you were talking about the results. So what is the
Yeah.
basis of selection? And you were saying there are two waves of selection.
Yeah. After you submit your application by the mid of September,
Mhm.
they will so you select seven professors and seven projects. And
Okay.
if you and so those selections are going to be sent to each of those professors, and they're going to select you based on your merit. Again, you may or may not get interviews for all seven. Like
Mm.
if you get interviews from like two or three professors, it's really good because there is high chance that you're going to get selected by at least one of them.
Mhm.
I personally, I got two interviews. One was from University of Toronto, but the interviewer, like the project, was not really based on my field of work. It was an ML project, but again, it was not totally my field of work. So
Okay.
she made it very clear in the interview itself that your research skills are good, but your project, the project you're going to be working on, it's a bit different from what the expertise you have. So
Mhm.
I was not shortlisted for the University of Toronto, but the project I'm currently working on at the University of New Brunswick, it was almost similar to what I'd worked back in NYU. So it was
Okay.
easier for me to get shortlisted.
Okay. Okay. So, can you tell us more about the different types of projects available in the pool, in the total pool?
Okay,
or
so
ML only?
yeah, so many people think that research it's just for fields like ML cybersecurity, but Mitacs also has a pool of projects for web development, even for app development, and it's majorly focused on research, but it also has opportunities for web and app developers. So many people who are interested in web and app dev could also apply. So for 4th years, they still have a chance next year to apply. Even I was not aware of this, but since I came here, I have friends who have similar projects in web and app dev. So I got to know through them.
Okay, so their work is particularly making those web applications and mobile
Correct.
applications. Okay, that's an interesting point, and in fact, I
Yep.
think I might be applying then.
Yep.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so now you are in Canada, right?
Yeah.
I can already feel the accent in your voice.
Like I've not picked up on the accent just because I was working at NYU for like 1 year, and every day we used to talk to each other for around 5 to 6 hours working on the project. So I kind
Yeah,
of picked up on the Chinese accent. I kind of picked up on the American accent and now Canadian.
yeah, yeah. So it comes automatically, right? You don't even
Yeah,
know when it
like you
changes.
don't even try to imitate, but it kind of
Yeah.
imprints in your voice. Can't help.
Okay. So, okay, tell me what was your reaction when you actually got to know that I'm flying to Canada and your
So,
parents' reaction as well?
okay, so I'll describe the whole scenario. So I was working on the same project at NYU. We were having a meeting, and in the middle of the meet, I got this mail that I was shortlisted. I was so busy in my work that I actually didn't have time to celebrate. Not that I was not excited, but I still wasn't that excited as I must have been. I would say so. And I don't think I told my parents also. So the results came out on December 10th. And my
Mhm.
parents got to know around January 15th, I would say, because I had to start applying for my visa application. And it was
Okay.
only then they got to know. And I think my friends got to know the first.
Oh, okay. So your parents didn't know till more than a
No,
month that
I wouldn't
you're
have
flying
even
to.
told them if I wasn't applying for visa. Like only
Okay,
then
so
I would have yeah.
you could fly to Canada just like that without informing them.
Yeah, means I would tell them, but it would have been a great surprise.
Yeah, yeah, sure. So yeah, so now you're in Canada and all your living expenses and everything is managed by Mitacs
Yep.
or Mitacs. How do you pronounce that?
Yeah, it's my tax. My tax.
Oh, sorry, the entire video I was saying Mitacs. Okay, so Mitacs. So what is your stipend? You're getting. You must be getting the stipend.
So again, it's around I would say $12,000 for 3 months, and it does not include taxes. So you're basically getting $12,000 in hand, and it includes
Mhm.
all your airfare charges, your accommodation, your living stipend, your visa application fees, your immigration fees, like everything, all the expenses you need, it's going to be covered. Your health insurances, that's really important because the healthcare facilities in Canada, they could be really expensive in case you meet with an accident or like unluckily you could have some conditions, health conditions, and
Mhm.
if you don't have an health insurance, it's going to be really difficult because the expenses are really high here for healthcare. So even that is taken care of by my tax. So
Okay.
yeah, all those are
So
included in the stipend.
12,000 plus this plus these expenses, or all these are included inside the 12,000.
It's all included in the 12,000.
Okay, so
But if
you
you
are getting
consider
the.
taxes, it could become even higher. But since we are not paying taxes, Yeah,
Hmm.
you get 12,000 in your hand.
Okay, and then you spend it as you like, right?
Yeah.
Okay, okay, got it. So, can you tell me something about your everyday work, like when you moved to Canada, and how was your first day of work?
Okay. So basically, my tax projects mostly they're kind of rigorous. They tell you to work for 40 hours per week, which is like 8 hours per day. And it could be really rigorous, but my professor is kind of chill in that regard. As long as you get the work done, he really doesn't care whether you come to the lab or not. So most of the time, I'll be traveling and working at the same time. Like I'll be working in buses, I'll be working in trains, flights, everything. But mostly, I'll be traveling all over Canada.
Oh, okay, okay. So, but your main workplace is the laboratory at the university.
Yeah. So we have weekly meetings on Wednesdays. As long as you attend that and you get your work done for that week, it really doesn't matter how much you travel or how much you are enjoying out there. So yeah.
Okay, 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 cool. So now let's move on to the next achievement, which is StepScan. Tell us something about StepScan and how did you go into that opportunity?
So again, it was an opportunity given by my professor. So is the technical lead now at the StepScan Technologies in Canada, and it was a
Mhm,
recommendation from him. Um, and they had a single round of interview. It was a combination of technical and HR. And it was again for a technical lead position. So they have three tiers here in industries, at least in Canada. So the first tier is where you have the CEOs, all the managers, and the second tier is where you have the employees below them who take care of the department responsibilities. And below that, you
mhm.
have the developers, the engineers, all those people. So I'm basically part of the second tier right now. So I was interviewed for those skills. It could be either leadership or it could be even technical and HR. So yeah.
Okay, okay. So and there was only once after the recommendation, there was only one interview, and then you were given the offer letter. So
Yeah,
what
so
was
again, the recommendation, it really depends on the professor because if your professor thinks you have the relevant skills um, and you really know how to move forward given a problem,
the?
then it's going to recommend you. Like most of the Mitacs interns don't actually connect with their professors so much, at least from my experience, from my friends' experience. Most of them don't connect just beyond their projects. And I think it's really important to connect with people, just that you know them better. And also, it's going to pay heavy dividends if you connect with them because they're going to offer you opportunities which you otherwise might have missed out on.
Mm-hmm. That's correct.
And by connecting with them, you actually tell them that you have these interests. And if you have any other opportunities which are lying in the same domain as we work,
Mm-hmm.
you could just ask them whether there are opportunities and they'll surely let you know. Like people here are really friendly and you could connect with them easily. So if you have that opportunity, please do that.
Okay, that's a really important point that we should be connecting with the persons we are working with.
Yeah,
So
see
the
again the
professors are.
skills from my observation here. Like I've spent already 2 months, and I have a lot of Canadian friends out here, like people from all other international countries. So um, from my experience and their experience, they say that as long as you connect with people and you have the relevant skill set. So, if a position is asking you for ML engineer, if you're applying for a ML engineer position and you have skills like it could be basic research oriented skills or it could be your development coding skills. As long as you
Mhm.
have the basic skills met, and you have the relevant connections, it's really easy to go to the top here, because the focus on skills is like just 30 to 40%, and the rest depends on how you organize yourself in that given company and how you actually connect with people. You need to be really approachable. You need to be really ethical over there. So that's more important, is what I feel.
Yeah, that's a really important point which you should follow everywhere in life, wherever you go.
And
And
one more
yeah,
thing, there is so they have classes here, like for the undergrads. They have courses and classes here called the social capital, which basically
oh,
discusses how important it is to connect with people. It might
oh,
be
that's
socially, it might be academically, but unfortunately, back in India, we don't have anything else. Like we don't have such concepts, and it's really unfortunate because when people move from there to here, it's
mm,
really is a shock because people are really skilled back in India, but they don't have opportunities just because they can't connect with people. Um,
right.
and people come back here and their life changes totally. So it's
Yeah,
really
that, I think
important
that's
to,
that's one of the reasons why many people from India look for opportunities outside the country.
yeah.
Okay. So, can you tell me about the offer from the StepScan? Like, what is the stipend? What is the work uh,
Um,
conditions
so
and everything?
basically, my position is going to be a tier two position where I'll be working as a technical lead. And
Okay.
I'll be the point of contact between the tier three and tier one. So it's basically synchronization of the departments involved in my project. And so that's going to be my job profile as far as I know. And so it's going to be starting from the August. In case I am going to report, it's going to be starting from the August of 2023 as soon as I complete my bachelor's. And yeah,
Okay.
in case, as I said again, if I accept the offer, it's going to be starting from August 2023. And it's going to be in office,
Okay.
not work from home.
Okay. Okay. And what is the stipend offered?
So again, I'm not supposed to reveal that. Um, um,
Okay.
so I kind of should not reveal that, but I would say it's in the seven digits.
Wow. Wow. That's great.
So companies here, they actually don't have such rules back in India where you're not supposed to reveal your salary. Companies are really
Hmm.
lenient over here, but still I feel I shouldn't reveal. I already have revealed it to some of my friends, and it's like many people know from that. So the
Yeah.
situation was, it was actually my mother's birthday that day. I was really excited, and soon I got a mail that I was offered this post from StepScan, and it was like I was literally excited. I was out of my control, and I just posted it on WhatsApp, and from there it spread like wildfire. Like I couldn't sleep for the
Yeah.
next two
Even I
days.
have
So
seen
many
that.
DMs, so many DMs, so many calls. Like I shouldn't have done that, but yeah, I was excited and I did it.
Oh, no, that's really great. Okay, let me just confirm. You told 7 digits. 7 digits for 1 month or the entire year? What?
It's for the year. Nobody's
Yeah,
gonna
I was.
offer seven digits for 1 month.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. That was on a lighter note. Okay, that's so amazing. And if I can trace back my memory to a few seconds back, you said if you are gonna accept that offer letter,
Yeah.
uh,
Okay.
are you even thinking that you might not accept it? Such a
Yeah.
great offer.
So I had plans right from my second year, that I'm going to be pursuing masters abroad. It's been my parents' dream, it's been my dream, and I also have personal reasons. why I have to do masters over there. So when I applied, like I didn't apply for this StepScan. It was just a recommendation by my professor, and I just had to appear for the interview. Um, so as I didn't mind whether getting rejected or accepted, but for me, getting the interview experience was more important because after my master's, if I get into the industry, I should know how to tackle interviews. Um, so, yeah, for me, that was more important more than either getting accepted or rejected. And
Yeah.
again, talking about the masters, mostly I'm going to be rejecting this offer and going ahead with my master's application because I've been preparing from such a long time. I've been writing research papers. I've been preparing for GRE. I've been preparing for IELTS. I've been writing statements of purpose for each and every university. And like it has been a long process. So I just don't want that to go in vain because I don't know whether I'm going to get a similar offer after my master's, but it's always worth taking the risk. At least now, I don't want to become really complacent after getting this offer. I want to still take some risks and try out if I could get better offers. I'm not sure.
Yeah, yeah, sure. You should always follow what your heart says.
Yeah.
And so, so have you thought of any universities in your
Yeah,
mind?
I've shortlisted universities. So I have a list of 8 universities which I'm going to be applying to. Five of them are in US, two of them are in Canada, and one of them is in Sweden. So the ones in US are CMU, Carnegie Mellon University, um, which is in Pittsburgh. The second is Georgia Tech University, which is in Atlanta, and it
Right.
really has a good machine learning course. And the third is NYU, which I already interned at. Um, and the fourth one is Northeastern University, which is again in Boston. Um, the fifth is the University of Texas Austin, which has a specialized it has a MS in CS course with a specialization in artificial intelligence and computational neuroscience. So that's one of my dream universities. And in back in Canada, again, I'm saying this just as a reminder that if you have a Mitacs fellowship, so if you had interned at Mitacs in your third year, and if you're going to be returning for your master's back in Canada at any university in Canada, the you'll be getting a scholarship, so you'll be waived off your tuition fee which you're going to pay.
Oh, that's
Like
amazing.
that's around $20,000, and that's really a huge
Yeah.
amount of money. So,
Right.
so you're gonna be waived off if you are a MyTax intern. And the
Yeah.
Canadian universities I'll be applying for is the University of Toronto, the University of Waterloo, or the University of British Columbia. Um, so I'll be applying to two out of those three universities. And back in Sweden, I'll be applying to the KTH Royal Institute of Technology.
Okay. So, what is your first reference? Like, what is that dream college you want to enter among all?
Obviously, it's going to be CMU, but really, the competition is too high. Just to be realistic, not to set, it's not like I'm not aiming high, but to be realistic, the competition is very high back in CMU because it's the best college for CS in this world, uh, above MITs and Stanford.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my dream university, especially for robotics and AI. It's the best. So that's
Okay.
my dream, but I'm really setting my standards a bit low just to be realistic.
Yeah, I'm sure you will be getting in one of the all of these are best universities and you will get in. But one question I have in my mind that why not any Indian university?
Again, I'm not aware of the situation back in India. My dream has always been to do masters abroad. I had dreams of doing undergrad abroad, but
Mhm.
I was kind of pushed into this JE preparation, following my peers, and I don't want to do the same thing again. So that was my dream, doing masters abroad. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and Masters back in India, I'm not quite sure of the scope. It's not degrading anything or some institutes, but I'm not really aware how things work back in India, the opportunities after that. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah,
Yeah, I think that is a you have got some great work with you, and you are so talented, and India needs such talented people. But of course, you are very right that in India the scope and the opportunities are not as great as they are being offered in the outside countries. Yeah, so I hope that in the near future we have such opportunities in India that can, you know,
yeah, it's not again the work that people, the work back in India is really great, but the
yeah.
recognition is not so much, is what I feel.
Mm-hmm.
Because people back in India are really skilled. Like most of the university professors out here in the Canadian universities, you can find like 60 to 70% of them are Indians. So
Oh,
you can really find great talent here, but most of them don't stay back in India. That's the problem. And again, it's a personal issue.
mm-hmm.
Really can't comment on why people don't like to stay in India, but yeah, India doesn't lack in any way when it comes to skills. It's just that the skills are not getting recognized.
Yeah, yeah, that's correct. That's I would agree to that. And yeah, let's see. I think in the near future we will have more. We will have a paradigm shift, and more focus will be on research. I think in research, more people are not going into research in India,
Yeah,
and
again,
yeah.
that's a big problem. See, that's a really good point because I've seen undergrads while I was
Mhm.
working back in NYU. They used to have sessions over the weekends where even school students used to, they were into research, doing awesome projects. Like what
Mhm.
undergrads do back in India as their projects, school students do that back in US. So
Oh, okay.
again, it's not about the skills. People
Mm.
back in India are not taught to do research in the school days. Again, it's not
Right.
their fault. If we were taught, I think we would have done better than them. But
Hmm.
again, they have the opportunities and we don't. So yeah,
Because still I think till now most of us are going towards getting a particular degree and not the knowledge from it. So yeah, we are still at the stage like let's just complete it somehow and not learn from it. So yeah, but
yeah.
that is an
Like
entire
most
different.
of the people back here are more interested or oriented towards research
Yeah.
than industry because they find it a safe job, I would say. But most of the Indians won't think that being a professor is a safe job. But I bet you, back here, it's really a safe job. It's a high paying job than most software developers. Then even in Google, like my professor was offered a position at Google for being the head of the Google AI team or something. I'm not sure,
Okay.
but he was
Mhm.
offered a position in the team, but he didn't accept that because he finds this job really rewarding more than that. So they really
Oh.
value research over here more than industry. And it's again just the opposite back in India. You don't find people doing research. And
Mhm.
like we are not to blame anyone because we are just not taught that way. So
Yes, 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 right. That's correct. So yeah, yes, with this we will be moving to the end of the discussion. And would you like to give any tips for your peers and juniors who
For
are
my
looking forward
peers,
into research or ML?
I don't think I have any suggestion for my peers because there are many people working on ML and they're more proficient than me. I bet you there are many people doing that in our college. They're doing really great work, and I'm just one among them. And I'd like to say that just keep up your
Mhm.
good work, and you're going to be recognized soon. And for the juniors, I would say I would tell them not to. pester your seniors too much, asking for roadmaps, which to do, what to do. I would tell you explore as much as possible on your own, because if you follow a strict path which your seniors lay before you, you're just gonna reach the end and you're not gonna explore. It's not gonna be interesting, and
Mhm.
at the end it's not going to be worth it even if you achieve. So you have to explore your own path, and it really becomes interesting because connecting the dots moving forward, you really don't know. Like, I started off in my second year, I was nowhere, and I started off with NYU, and that connected me to Mitacs, and Mitacs connected me to StepScan. So it's not a
Mhm.
predefined path. So just go with the flow, try to give your best, and you'll be there.
Yeah, that was a very strong note to end. So with this, I would like to thank you for
Yeah, sure.
joining me and giving your valuable time for this session.
Yeah,
And this was a really amazing session. You made some very, very good points. I hope this
thank you.
video will be helpful. And yeah, I would ask the viewers to like this video, share this among your uh, peers, and yeah, so subscribe to this channel because
Yeah.
I really believe this
And
is
to
something
say
you can
you're
do.
really doing a great work, I had the same idea back in my second year.
Yeah.
Some of my school friends already have podcasts on Spotify.
Oh,
They were on the same plans again to restart their podcast. And
yeah.
they also invited me to become one of their podcasters. And yeah, you're really doing a great job. Um, uh,
Thank you so
like helping
much.
out juniors, and yeah, continue the good work.
Thank you so much, Shreyas. Thank you so much. So with this, let us come to the end of the discussion.
Yeah.
So see you.